In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Tariq Masood. Thank you very much watching my video and your exceptional support to make this channel a grand success. We are a partner. Please subscribe our channel if you haven't done so far. We as a team can work together to convert challenges into opportunity and opportunity into success stories. These success stories can be monetized into value additions. Thank you very much again. In my earlier, we have discussed extraversion, introversion, sensing, and intuition. Today, I'm going to discuss lecture number 3, thinking and feeling. On my lecture number 4, we will discuss judging and perceiving. So on my lecture number 3, we are going to start. Before I'm going to start a lecture number 3, I used to read a Quranic verse. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatum min lisani yafqahu qawli rabbi zidni ilma. Okay, before my lecture, I will give you brief about my future plan or my future program, which I'm going to run a complete trail of large number of lectures next 6 to 7 months on different area to cover oil and gas industry and power utilities. So again, thank you very much. Now I'm going to give a brief about my future plan, my next 2 slides, and then I will start my personality assessment model lecture number 3. Thank you very much again for your precious time. As I have discussed earlier, I have a plan to give how the process industry are functioning effectively, efficiently. What are the ground rules? If you can see here on my pyramid from bottom to top here. So the first layer is called the leading factors. So leading factors must be reliable, very important, must not have releases from any reasons. So these factors have a logical connection up to top. And the second is a semi-leading. So work safely or not at all. That is the semi-leading. And number 3, semi-lagging. So production at rate, product at specification. There is always time to do it right. On the last here, that is lagging factors, very important. How to achieve here? If it is worth doing, do it in better way. In order to stay on the top, to achieve a maximum, we need a different discipline engineers who should participate. Petroleum, chemical, electrical, instrument control, mechanical, industrial, and so on. And these engineers must have a specialty as far as the process industry is concerned. What are the specialty we needed? A loss prevention engineer, safety engineers, process engineer, operation, optimization, or discipline maintenance, corrosion, integrity, reliability, cost, project, and etc. These engineers, when acquired a specialty, then they delivered what we supposed to be to have maximum value in order to stay on the top of the pyramid. So they will contribute from bottom to top in order to deliver the result as planned. How to do these activities to well frame and strategically structured? We need a center of excellence for engineering best practices. So based on that, we can deliver or we can constitute what we want to be and why we want to be at the top of the pyramid. So on my next slide, we will give a brief about the key focus area, how the center of excellence for engineering best practice can function effectively and efficiently. Okay, this is my key focus area, which I have a plan to deliver a large number of lectures, probably plus 20 lectures. Okay. This schematic demonstrates how the process industry is functioning and what are the different specialty is functioning in order to deliver the results. Okay. If you can see here, this is my raw material processed at different stages, and after that it's delivering my goal or my final product. Okay, first, what are my key objective, my key goal? Environment compliance, personal safety, zero goal compliance, zero trip leaks, product quality, and optimize operating cost. That is my key objective I should achieve when I process a raw feed through at different stages. Okay, in order to achieve these products, what I have to do? First, doing things right. Okay, then doing the right things. And number 3, doing the right things right. Okay. In order to do these things, I have to do a complete process what I supposed to do in order to do the things right, doing the right thing right, and doing the right things right. Okay. Now, as I've shown my pyramid in my last slide, if you can see here in my pyramid, these are my leading factors. These are my leading factors. That is hazards, operability management system, quantification of risk assessment, hazard identification, risk assessment, safety, integrity level, sale assessment. Okay. These are my leading. So if something happen, so then it will turn into semi-leading, semi-lagging, and then lagging factor. That is my ultimate goal achieved, if whether I achieved my goal or not. Okay, I will give about all my hazard assessments, then I will give brief about how my 15 segments will be there. Okay, now my hazard assessment, first I'm talking about the hazards and operational management systems. This technique provides a systematic method of analyzing the cause and effects of abnormal plant operation. Okay. Number 2, quantification risk assessment. To define the criteria to be used in quantitative risk assessment carried out for a company where it has a third-party interest, major stakeholder in project, etc. These criteria will ensure the consistency of the studies. In order to that, direct comparison may be made between studies that could cover individual risk criteria, location, hazard assessment, etc. So these are area can be covered during quantification of risk. If we can see, the number 3 is hazard identification. In hazard identification, hazards, so early detection of potential hazard and threats from project, plant or plant modification, which covers structure, responsibility, technique of hazard studies. It covers all phases of project, feasibility, concept, optimization, feed, APAC, operation, decommissioning, abandonment, potential hazard to human safety, environment, and assets production loss, etc. Okay. In the risk assessment here, that is the process procedure to identify, assess, and manage risk. So normally the health and safety system driving residual risk to as low as possible acceptable level. In third here, that is number 5, to determine of appropriate reliability, that is called the CEng, required from the elements of the safety instrumented functions in prior safety studies like HAZOP and HAZARD, etc. It covers safety integrity levels, study using calibrated risk graph, layer of protections analysis method, that is also known as a LOPA, etc. So these are 5 methods will be discussed next couple of months. Okay. Now I will give brief about the other key focus area. The first is leadership. Okay. Leadership best practices. As you have seen, I have published a huge number of almost 23 lectures on leadership. Probably next couple of days you will also see some more lectures on leadership. So what is the leadership best practice? Establish the multiple leadership model, time tested, simple in concept, address all business aspects, feed, plan and budget process, that is leadership best practices. Number 2, competency assurance. What is competency assurance? A process or procedure for a personal competency is a key to maintaining a personal safety and operational integrity. Competency developed and sustainable. It's very integral as far as the process industry is concerned. Number 3, if you can work management system, control, coordinate, ensure work authorization, reduce the risk of health and safety and process incident, nobody get hurt. That is very important. In number 4, facilities integrity management system. What is that? This is another very important segment. To manage the integrity, most critical surface equipment, technical maintenance and inspection, different types of category of equipment, A, B, C, D, whatever, and investigate and address a root cause analysis and reliability events, etc. In number 5 here, alarm critical operating management parameters management systems. Establish a process procedure to manage alarm and critical operating parameters. Significant improve process safety by identifying key performance indicators that can be used to monitor alarm system health and manage. This is also called the COP, critical operating parameter risk management system. Number 6 here, the contract and selection management system. Procedural process to attract and utilize a safe contractor, work as a one team, ensure leadership interface, sustain with a key focus area like health, competency, work empowerment, program effectiveness, and gap closures. Number 7, risk assessment management systems. So, in risk assessment management system, process procedure to identify, assess, and manage risk, health safety system driving risk to acceptable level. Okay. Now, to maintenance management system, to achieve best-in-class safety, reliability, integrity, and cost performance. Process procedure to set up centralized maintenance organizations. Number 8, facilities surveillance. Process procedure to maximize the value of the assets, cost and value drivers, unplanned downtime, optimize planned downtime, missed opportunities, value of product and OPEX cost, best value of the molecules at the best cost of the utilities. Next is capacity enhancement, a process to identify the categorize the unproduced volume, restoring economic short-term volumes to full capacity or more. That is my capacity. Then short and long-term turnaround. Process to identify and address complexity, scalability, integrated planning, work selections, refinement, and short-term management deliverables. Okay, operator care management systems. Improved reliability, increased volumes, cost reduction, enhanced knowledge transfer, shifts and increased ownership, improved lessons to operate performance. Number 12, management of change, effective and benchmarking. Globally systemized process for management of change, workflow from MOCs, steps and approvals. So now we have discussed number 12 sections. So how the things happen. Number 3, 13, CAPEX, OPEX management system. Effectively and efficiently manage cash OPEX, roles, responsibilities, expectations and tools. Okay. So in last here, we have seen next is a project management system. So guidance to practitioners to scale and implement project management efficiently. And last, very important, that effective benchmarking system. When we have everything, so how to benchmark, understand performance variability and underlying causal factors, broaden understanding of work process integrations. So after setting up of all process and specialty, so you will deliver what you need to be at in the pyramid, that is center of excellence, in order to enhance the process operations. So if you see in the bottom area here, that is one example. In process industry can cover that FCC, sweetening, hydrotreating, polymerization, hydrogenation, dehydration, hydrofinishing, etc. That are the process which pass with different stages in order to deliver the results. How a different key focus area will contribute in order to have seamless operations. Okay, as we have discussed earlier in our slide, we have discussed extraversion, introversion, lecture number 1, lecture number 2, sensing and intuition. Today we are going to discuss thinking and feelings. So thinking and feelings, deciding or come to the conclusion about the information you have it. So we will run a complete trail and model how thinking and feeling are interacting to each others. Okay, now we will discuss the first layers: extraversion, sensing, thinking, judging. What is basically extraversion, sensing, thinking and judging? Number 1, focus on the outside world to get energy to interact with people and are doing things right. Number 2, trust facts, detail and present realities. Number 3, make decision using logical objective analysis. Number 4, tend to be organized and orderly and to make decisions more quickly. Okay. Next is introversion, intuitions, feeling and perceiving. What's brief about that? What we have to think about: on preference basis, introversion focus on the inner world and get energy through reflecting on information, idea and or concept, how the things happen. Intuition tend to entrust interrelationship, theories and future possibilities. Number 3, make decision to create harmony by applying a person-centered values. Number 4, tend to be flexible, adaptive and to keep your option open as long as possible. That is how the two layers are opposing to each others. Okay. Now, on my this slide, I'm going to discuss the key takeaway points. What is the thinking? Impact of thinking. Feeling, impact of feeling. Communication style and enhancement. Change management and enhancement. Last but not least, conflict management and enhancement. That's very, very important, which I'm going to describe in my conclusion slide. Okay, as thank you very much for your time. As we have completed emotional intelligence, it took almost 6 months. Probably within a month, I hope we can complete personality assessment. Okay, what is the personality assessment? What is the personality? So there are many different theories. One theory is it suggests that we have opposite ways of gaining energy, that is extraversion, introversions, gathering or becoming aware of information, what we have, what we need to have it. That is also known as sensing or intuitions. And deciding or making decisions or conclusion, what we do or what we should not do, thinking or feeling. And with dealing with the world around us, that is judging and perceiving, how the concept is a personality assessment is derived from this lecture probably. So on my next slide, the first I'm going to discuss here. Okay, now we are going to discuss a personality assessment. Basically, personality constituted into 8 segments and 4 pairs. Each pair has 2 elements which are opposing each others. So now we will describe brief about the first pair, second, third and fourth pair. What is the first pairs? Introversions and extroversions. So in both areas, introversion, extroversion, the prefer extroversions focus on the outside world to get energy or through interacting with people and or doing things right. In introversions, what would be the prefer introversions? Focus on the inner world and get energy through reflecting on information, ideas and or concept. Okay. On third preference, on over here on sensing and intuitions, notices and trust facts, details and present realities. That is the first sensing. And prefer intuitions, you attend to and trust interrelationship theories and future possibilities. So on my third pairs, thinking and feelings, you may make a decisions using a logical objective analysis. As far as thinking is concerned, in prefer feelings, make decisions to create harmony by applying a person-centered values. Okay. On my last and fourth pair is judging and perceiving. You tend to be organized and orderly and to make decisions quickly as far as judging is concerned. And what would be the prefer perceiving tend to be flexible, adaptive to keep your options open as long as possible. Okay. In my earlier lecture, we have discussed introversion, extroversions. Today, we will discuss only sensing and intuitions. On a later stage, we will discuss thinking, feelings, judging and perceiving. These 2 pairs will be discussed next couple of weeks. Okay, now we are going to run a model. Extroversion, sensing, thinking, judging. Introversion, intuitions, feeling, perceiving. How this model is functioning. In earlier my 2 lecture, we focused more on extroversion, introversions, sensing and intuition. Today we are going to discuss only thinking and feeling, and my lecture number 4 we will discuss judging and perceiving. Okay, I'll give recap what we discussed in my lecture number 1 and 2. Okay, first, if you can see here, this is my mathematically a table over here, matrix. Okay, this matrix constituted into 4 segments. So if I am staying in the middle, so it's mean I did a slight change. If I am moving on extreme right side, so the extreme right constituted into 4 segments: slight, moderate, clear, and very clear. And the same on left hand side. So same, it's constituted slight, it stay in the middle, then moderate, clear, and very clear. Okay, if you can see here, in the last year, thinking and feeling, thinking got 27 score out of 30. Okay, so feeling is opposite pole of the thinking. What is thinking? Focus on immediate, visible, and tangible solution. Okay, what are the feelings? That is the opposite way of the feelings mean you make decisions to create harmony by applying a person-centered value. Okay, then if you can see the judging and perceiving, which we will discuss in my lecture number 4. What is the bar mean? So it has a 4 if you are mentioned here. So they provide information about the personality type. You have awkward, each of 4 preference as demonstrated. So longer the bar, more clear you have expressed are your feelings. If you can see the bar is a 5th, mean you are near a slight and moderate. If you achieve the score on 22, it's mean you are clear. If you are near to 30 like a 27, it's mean you are very clear. So it's mean longer the bar, more clear you have expressed your preference. If I will go to the next slide, in my next slide, what am I feeling here? That is my opposite pole. Make decision to create harmony by applying a person-centered values. So I'll brief about introversions, focus on inner world and get energy through reflecting on information, ideas, and our concept. Number 2, intuitions, attend to trust, interrelationship theories, and future possibilities. And perceiving tends to be flexible, adaptive, and keep your options open as long as possible. So if you can see here, introversions, intuitions, a feeling, a perceiving, none of the sense again any score. It remain 0. But if you see on the left hand side, extraversion, sensing, thinking, judging, all 4 sensing have some values. So now I will explain a thinking and feeling in my next slide. We will run again a model thinking and sensing. Okay, now thinking and feeling again are constituted into 5 segments. Each thinking has 5 segments and feeling have 5. So both are opposing to each other. First, we'll think about logical. Impersonal seek impartiality, objective analysis. Empathetic here, personally seek harmony, centered values. Number 2, reasonable, truthful, cause and effect, applying principles. Compassionate, so that is opposite pole, tactful, sympathetic, and loyal. And number 3, questioning. What is that? Precise, challenging, want discussions. And opposite, accommodating, approving, agreeable, want harmony. Number 4, critical, accepting, skeptical, want proof, critic, reflective, tolerant, trusting, gave a praise. And last, a tough, firm, tough-minded, and surrendered. Tender, gentle, tender-hearted, means-oriented. So these are 5 different poles that constituted thinking versus feeling, which has demonstrate their senses. Now, on my next slide, we're going to run a model how logic, empathic, reasons, compassionate, questioning, accommodating, critical, accepting, reflective, tough, and tendering to behave each other on my next model, which I'm going to demonstrate on my next slide. Okay, now I'm going to discuss on my model thinking and feeling. First, what is my thinking and feeling here? It run a model which demonstrate my thinking and feeling. First is the thinking. So the conclusion on logical analysis with focus on objectivity. Feeling here, conclusion on personal social value with focus on harmony. Okay, if I can see here, my score bar 0 to 5 on my right hand side and left hand side 0 to 5, 1, 3, 5. So if I move extreme on right hand side, so that is auto preference. If I am move left hand side extreme level, so I am in preference. Now first is a logic. So logic got 3 scores, mean impersonal, seek, impartiality, objective analysis. But over here, but I did not receive anything on the empathy. What is my in preference here? Believe that logical analysis is best for decision making using sequential reasoning with premises and defined rules to reach consistent conclusion. Number 3, hard data to make your decisions, focus on cause and effect, like to maintain a clear boundaries between issues, can easily identify pros and cons of any issue. Okay, number 2 here. So I can see here the 4, I got the score 4. I am again in preference in the reasoning and compassionate over here, tactful, some systematically loyal. So when I got the 4 score, then truthful, cause and effect and applying principles. When I am in preference, so reasoning what I supposed to achieve, reasoning to make decisions, approach situation as an impartial observer, are confident and clear about your objective and decisions, live your life logical with premises leading to a conclusion, view situation objectively and analytically. Number 3 over here, so that is a questioning here. So I am again in preference, questionings, precise, challenging, want decisions, but in opposite poles, that is accommodating, approving, agreeable, want harmony. That is my concept here. So what is questioning? Basically in preference, intellectually independent, use question to clarify ideas, precise on your question, likely to zero on a discrepancy, may need to have all your questions answered before you can trust and conclusion. So getting the answer you need, feeling questions is appropriate even if something is already done. Okay, number 4 here, critical, accepting. So skeptical, want proof and critics. So in the opposite wave here is reflective, that is tolerant, trusting and give a praise. So what is in preference? Critical, I'm going to discuss here. Argumentative and skeptical, appear almost unemotional in your interactions, take little for granted and concede a little, like to clarify what is wrong since nothing is perfect, like to create and or surprise when others don't accept critics as justified and helpful, engage in critique rather than criticism when at all your best. In over here, on my last year, the tough, so I am again very clear and in preference, firm, tough-minded and oriented. So the tender here, so that's the more gentle, tender, hearted means and oriented. So what is the toughness? Basically, to use intellectual and interpersonal pressures to get your way, focus firmly on achieving your objective, may assume there are no alternative or those available won't work. So result-oriented and comfortable, focus on the bottom line, don't pay much attention to people, emotion and may be seen as a cold. So that is how thinking and emotion senses are opposing to each other. So on my next slide, I'm going to discuss how the communication style and enhancement. Number 2, in my conclusion slide, I'm going to discuss change management, style and enhancement. And at the last point, I'm going to discuss conflict management, style and enhancement. Okay, now I'm going to conclude my lecture here. First, I will talk about the impact of thinking, feeling on communication style and enhancement. Then I will discuss change management and conflict management and their enhancement. Okay, what I have to do to have my better communication? First, tell others. That is, I mentioned here a 3-point agenda here. So tell others what kind information you need. Ask others what they need. Monitor impatience when others' style dominate, realizing that the other likely are not trying to annoy you when they use their own communication style. Okay, first initiating. So the first here, start interactions by helping people get to know one another's. What is enhancement here? Make sure that the people actually need and want are these introductions. Number 2, expressing here. So say whatever in your mind to anyone who will listen. Number 1, communication. And what is the enhancement you have to do it here? Recognize when it is important not to say what is on your mind and they don't say it. Okay, reflective here. Like to communicate by reading and writing here. So recognize the message might not get across unless you are willing to say loudly. Over here, the quiet here, express your enthusiasm internally. Don't say to them to others. Be aware that their own thinkings are not interested selectively. Let people know what really interests for you. So concrete here. So talk about here and now details. What is that here? Be open to inferences that can arise from the detail which they have presented. Questioning here. So want to ask a question. Okay, be selective. Choose question to ask as not to intimidate peoples. So over here the critical here. So naturally take critical stance to just about everything. Recognize that others may mistake your criticism for personal criticism and be clear when this is not your intent. Okay, so the toughness here. So they embody the phrase let go on what they're thinking about. Be aware that is something a very way of moving ahead and be wrong for the situations. And the last are methodically identify the step and their order before starting task. Be tolerant of others who plunge in without identifying the steps. Okay, now on my next slide, so based on thinking and feeling, we are going to discuss about what is the change management. Okay, in change management over here again, number 1, be clear what is a change and what is remaining the same. Identify what you need to know to understand the change and then seek out that information to help others deal with change. Number 3, encourage and open discussions about the change. Be aware that this is easier for some than others. Number 4, make sure that both logical reason and personal or social values have considered. Okay, now first is expressing here your facets here. Freely share your feelings about the change with others. What is enhancement? Limit your expressions to those who appreciate your style. Give time to others to think things through. Number 2, graduates over here. Discuss the change and their impact on your with broad range of the people here. And be aware that the people vary in their levels of interest in what you have to say and thus be selective in whom you talk to. Okay, number 3 here, concrete here, as for the change management is concerned, may get stuck on some aspects of change and ignores others. Okay, what enhancements are someone to help you move from facts to detail to reasonable possibilities. Okay, number 4 here, the realistic. Focus on common sense aspects of the change here. So they realize that the common sense outcomes may not be immediately apparent. Okay, so number 4, the experientials want to see an example of how the change will work here. So they accept that the impact of some change cannot be demonstrated in advance. Okay, traditional here, hope that many of established way of doing things will continue. So accept that some changes are necessary and may promote continuity in the long run. Okay. So the tough here, so the will actively embrace or resist change depending whether you agree with it. Okay. Sit back, consider the whether your sentence will really get you what you want in the long run. Okay, plan as far as in advance as possible for the change here. Allow for the unexpected in your long run plan, it will happen. Okay, in last years, so methodological, identify the steps and other before starting task. So detail many steps necessary to implement the change. Know that the circumstances may require that the carefully develop steps by change in the moments. So that is how the change management happen in the system. Okay, and the next year, so that is a conflict management. And the conflict management for the better setup, first take care of getting work done while maintaining your relationship with the people involved. Recognize that all perspectives have something to add, but any perspective used in the extreme and to exclusion of its opposite will ultimately impede the conflict solutions. Number one, expressive. So discuss the conflict. First, expressive here. Discuss the conflict, your emotional reactions to its immediate. Be aware that even though others may not speak up immediately, so may feel strongly about the issues here. So graduates that involve all relevant people in resolving the conflict, not just those who know well. So the respect that the need of the some people to remain uninvolved until they are ready to participate. Questioning here, ask many questions of the others to reveal all the issues in the conflict. Be aware that the people may take your question styles as challenging rather than helping in resolving the issues. Be clear about your intent. So here over here the toughness, point out of the everything that is still wrong and it needs corrections, realizing that your style may upset others and try to pull back and be more accepting. Okay, so the tough here, so the push up people's conflict here immediately so that the progress can be made. So recognize delays in implementing may be necessary to reach the goals here. And the last here, that is early starting, believe conflict can be avoided by starting work on a project early as mentioned. So make all allowances for the people for whom starting early is not comfortable or effective. So that is how we have demonstrated our all concepts. The first, impact on communication and communication style and communication enhancement. Second, we have discussed change management and impact on change management styles. And number three, we have discussed conflict management style and enhanced conflict management. So that is how thinking and feeling are impacting. So thank you very much again for your precious time. So in my next lecture, we are going to discuss judging and perceiving link with what we have discussed: communication style, change management style, and conflict management style. So thank you very much for your precious time to make this a channel a great success. Thank you very much again. So please send me your feedback, comments, t.masood.dr@bath.edu. Thank you very much and stay blessed.